Radio Show. I'm Derek Asklar. Craig Talley's on the line there. We'll be hosting the show tonight. Kind of changing up a little bit of stuff on equipment, and may or may not use this in this room. I have to go into the other office there and do the show, Craig, because I think I'm getting a lot of ambient sound, or not ambient sound, but echo off the walls and stuff like that. We're still getting moved in, but gosh darn it, Craig, we don't have enough stuff to hang on the walls. So I tried to get her to let me hang up metal detecting posters and stuff like that, and she just gave me that dirty look from the other side of the room and said no. So, but we got that acoustic thing going on, so hopefully it sounds pretty good. And, I guess my volume's really low, so we'll crank that up just a little bit. Thanks, Bill. I got Bill Marsher, Ohio Relic Hunter, giving me guidance here, because a lot of times I can't hear it unless I listen to a playback. So, Craig, it sounds good. Well, that's always Craig sounds good. So I'll make sure of that so he doesn't get mad at me. But anyway,
yeah,
so
I got the earbuds.
Yeah. And this may improve it a little bit too. I just turned up the different setting on the microphone and stuff. Yeah, these, there's so many different kinds of condenser mics and regular mics and gaming headsets and everything. It's almost like, with headphones for metal detecting. I mean, there's so many different kinds, brands, and it's a matter of trying to find one that sounds really good and doesn't cost you a small fortune, but you get what you pay for. I'm actually using they call it a Blue Snowball microphone, where I was using a gaming headset before, but that thing, the microphone is so sensitive on it that it picks up my breathing and everything else, any little imperfection. But it really wasn't designed to do a radio show, but I need to go out there and try some different stuff. But, everything costs money, Craig, so we kind of make do with what we got and get by, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was thinking about hooking up, the soundboard and stuff like that, which I have one of those, and I may try to do that. I mean, a lot of these other guys, like I'm sure Loy and from Relics Radio and Butch Holcomb and stuff like that, when they do their shows, they have a little bit more of a better setup, or more, I guess, professional setup. Yeah, I mean, they have it set up right for doing a radio podcast, and I'm kind of, Craig and I have always been off the cuff trying to, make things work the best we can. So, we're making it happen. What's that, Pauline?
Back porch detector talking.
There you go, back porch detector talking, she said. So, but yeah,
I like to keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, you get too technical, it flusters me.
Did you hear that? That was Alexa.
Oh, Alexa's talking to us now?
Because I didn't hear the wake word.
What is she just picking up what you said? I've never had one of those things. She talks too much. Tell her to be quiet.
Yeah, my brother sent me one for
Alexa.
My birthday, and it gives me, like, I had ordered some Merrell shoes, hiking shoes,
mm-hmm.
and it notified me that it just came in up at the post office, because it's Amazon. I bought it through Amazon, but it was pretty cool. I've gotten I got a $3 off my orders because I did a review for a product on Amazon that I had. So I've been doing. I usually do the reviews anyway, but it's first time. So I got Amazon said, they would like to send me more products to review and stuff, and I can make money off of it. And I thought that was pretty wild. But,
Mark Hoover says, Alexa, order 10 pounds of candy. Alexa, shut up. We could really mess with Craig if he had a speaker on, but we could mess with Alexa big time. Alexa, tell me a story.
I think it was one of the White House people, one of their kids supposedly ordered a teddy bear through Alexa. And it was like, I think it was, it just went on again.
Yeah, stop saying that word. Don't say that name.
But I guess all of a sudden I get this package with this bear in it. Going, how the heck did that get here? You know, we didn't order that. But you can order stuff, you know, by voice.
Yeah, it's scary the way I talk all the time. Shoot, I mean, all of a sudden a truckload of stuff show up at the house. Well, I didn't order this. Yes, you did. Alexa said you did.
Yeah,
you gotta love technology.
I ordered Biohazard coffee. It's supposed to come in tomorrow.
Yeah. We got, Bill Marsh is on tonight, Ohio Relic Hunter. Then we got Mark Hoover's on, Steve Adams. Let me see here. Oh, we have Greg Pompano, I believe. I thought I saw him on here. Yeah, Florida Hunt 6 with Greg there. I think he has that posted up on Facebook. It's supposed to be, February, I believe, February of 2020. I think that's what it said on there, but I need to go back and look there. We'll have another. That last hunt I went to was a lot of fun. So this one, we'll still
I
posted
up. I posted up the announcement on the Hardcore Metal Detecting page.
Oh, good. Yeah, we had a lot of fun at the one up there in it was up near Hawthorne, Florida. A lot of people showed up. I mean, we had a good, I think 40 or 50 people there, anyways. New Age Goonies and Mark Hoover was there, and of course Greg and a bunch of other people. I can't remember now because that was a couple years ago now. Excuse me. But Papano, okay, I'm sorry, Greg. I'll get your last name. You know me, I butcher every last name, even my own. So you're part of the group, brother. Yeah, February 2020, he said. So everybody has to have a last name of George or Oscar or something like that. Way I'd be able to read it real easy. But yeah, so it just rained today a little bit. I was out in the office just pretty much going through the old relics and coins and trying to get stuff moved around a little bit. I didn't realize how much stuff I have. Oh my God, Craig, I got it. Well, you did the same thing when you moved. I'm just moving around and on the same property, and I'm going, oh my God, I got to move this stuff around, and got that showcase full of stuff, and I have more stuff than, I guess I have to buy another showcase. My wife's going to give me a glare, right? Yeah, she did. I ran out of room on my showcase. I need more room. So, but I figure I did pretty good on that. That thing was free. They were going to throw it away, and I'm like, what's wrong with it? Well, nothing. It's just awkward. And so I can deal with awkward, so I moved it. It's about a 6 foot, well, I'll say 5 foot long, 2 foot wide. It's like a showcase like you see in a jewelry store or a pawn shop or something like that. But it's an older one, so it has a lot of wood on it. I moved that right in my office right there and started putting relics. I think I put a couple photos up sometime or another on Facebook. But it was kind of nice to, go back, get all that stuff out of boxes and stuff like that, or out of, just sitting on a shelf and getting them put out a little bit. And one of my neighbors come by, and I was in my office. He came in and goes, man, you have a lot of stuff. This is cool. Starts going through and pulling, bullets. Going, look at this. Yeah, go ahead and grab it out of there. Look at it. And he's pulling out like Civil War bullets and whatever, coins, everything. And he's like, you found all this? I said, yeah, about 90% of it. And he goes, all these patches come from where? I said, well, from different guys that have different Facebook pages and stuff. And, I have some of Mark's stuff in there, New Age Goonies and Don't Tread on Me and Backyard Diggers and Dirt Pirates. So, I got all these different groups, and most of you guys on here tonight probably know them. But he just thought it was the coolest thing. I think it created another monster, because now he wants to get a metal detector. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, his wife is not happy.
His wife is not happy. Yeah. He's one of the ones that likes dirt trucks and mud bogging and everything else, so he has a lot of hobbies. But he just thought it was just really neat that I found a lot of the stuff, along the East Coast and Tennessee and stuff. I'll show them all the stuff from up in Pennsylvania that we got. And so, yeah, it's always nice to share them. I mean, it gets people kind of talking a little bit more and thinking about history and where things came from and everything. It's something I think, Craig, we take for granted a little bit in a way, because if we find like a barber dime or something, yeah, it's pretty cool, but to them, they have never seen one, or probably have never seen one. And here we are, we find them, or everybody gets excited about a breastplate, but they probably wouldn't, because they wouldn't know what the hell it was. And when they found out what it was, they'd just say, "Oh, it was really cool." But at any rate, so I was showing him that. But I was going through a bunch of stuff out there, and I found the stuff from up there in when we went to Horsham for the Digging in Pennsylvania event. I don't know if they're ever going to do one up there again or not. I mean, that'd be kind of neat. You know, I don't know if George's.
There's another club that I know a couple of the guys from Facebook that hunt in that area, and they did some other hunt up there. It was only about 30 people, I think.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that was about a year ago or so, I think.
Yeah, I never even heard about that one.
But they had some other property that was nearby too that they could hunt.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the hunt we did.
Right.
So
that was a tough hunt. That was a tough hunt.
It didn't look like they, found a super amount of stuff, but there was not as many people hunting either.
Right.
And it looked like there was some coins. It looked like a couple of reals and stuff were found.
Good.
But not a ton of stuff, but decent enough. I mean, if you get a real, that's
right
good as it gets.
Yeah. Well, it's like we started finding those flat buttons and stuff like that, and some I found that big dandy button up there in Horsham, and a lot of stuff I've never found before because it's not down here in Florida as much. It's harder to find down here because the history wise, but
yeah, you got that King George II.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. The toy wheel, that wheel from that pull behind toy, that was really old too. That was deep. But yeah, I mean, a pocket knife, it had brass like edging on it, or etching or whatever on the handle part of the pocket knife. That was just as deep as that King George was. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff I've never found, so it's on my bucket list. I found stuff I didn't even know I had a bucket list for, but anything from the 1700s, I'll take in a heartbeat because I usually don't find a lot of that down here. I'm not in the right area or right, historically. I mean, if I probably got closer to like St. Augustine or along the coast or something like that on the East Coast. But I think it's a little bit everywhere. I mean, it's spread out a little bit more down here. When we do get into it, we get into it good because I know the couple coins. I think I had that posted up on Facebook, Craig, that one of the oldest coins this guy found, I think it was 1400 and some. I can't remember. It was the oldest coin the guy had ever found, and the oldest coin he'd heard of down in Florida being found metal detecting. And he found it in south central Florida, right? I think around, I think north of Arcadia. I want to say that for some reason, but yeah, he had a video on it and everything. I didn't realize what he found, but he's just out hunting in the woods and come across it. But any rate, so yeah, there is old stuff to be found down here, of course, but I think just the East Coast up, northeast is a real good spot. It's probably been hammered like crazy, like you said in Virginia. The relic hunters have pounded it, but there's still stuff to be found. It's just a little harder now.
I saw some areas where they were hunting around. Some guys were hunting around forts up in northeastern Florida, and it was a matter of getting in there because it was so thick. I mean, they were going through, really thick stuff, to find stuff. It was hard to get the coil on the ground. It was so thick. But that they were finding some really good stuff that was in really good shape because of the sandy soil. And some of the buttons, they were getting like War of 1812 buttons that were, they looked like, they were brand new almost. If you didn't know that the soil is just South Carolina and that kind of soil too, is all like that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of guys. I see guys along they're going along the rivers and along the coast of South Carolina and finding all kinds of stuff on the shorelines, all kinds of colonial stuff. One guy found a 1458 copper coin.
Oh, you can't beat that at all. That's
and it wasn't in good shape or anything, but they were able to read the date and stuff. So that was pretty crazy. But
it doesn't even matter at that point. It's so old that It's like a breastplate. Yeah, you get one that's broken or cracked or whatever. Yeah, you'd like to have a complete one, but hey, who's going to knock a Civil War breastplate? It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to crib about it. But,
yeah, it's a lot of really. Well, they found this one set of colonial weights, and they were made so if you couldn't like shave some of the lead off of it without ruining the design that was on it, so that
right.
They kind of made it that way, so it would be hard to get away with, because they were weighing all this stuff, and nowadays when they weigh this stuff, it doesn't weigh right. It's like,
yeah.
They were cheating. Supposedly my mother said that my grandfather used to catch the grocer. He used to put his thumb on the scale, and
or they add some more weight to it somehow underneath or whatever. I've seen, like a little piece of lead or something underneath the weight itself to make it weigh more or less or whatever, and get people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, counterfeiting, like essentially counterfeit weights.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you find a couple of those too? The colonial. I thought you found a couple of those, or
yeah,
a couple years ago.
Yeah, I found one. We went to Fredericksburg, and it was a site where there'd been a Confederate camp, and there'd been a hospital, I think, there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was more across the street. But anyway, it was a modern house that had been built on this property, and on the other side of the fence, you could see it was an original property. And but it was abandoned. There was nobody there, and but anyway, we hunted this pretty big yard, and I found a silver dime and some wheat pennies, but I got this really deep signal, and I dug a one of these weights. It was I think it was 2 ounces,
right?
And it's it was made out of brass, and it kind of was rounded, and it had kind of a lip around it, and then a 2 in it. And then when I weighed it, it was exactly 2 ounces. That was pretty cool. But, people cheated a lot back then. It's just the way it is. If you can get away with it, why not?
I guess.
I don't know.
Well, back then, you heard some of the guys finding, the counterfeit coins and stuff from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the King George II coins, most of them were counterfeits. And because he didn't allow us to have any the coins, and people had to have coins, to do transactions. It's just, there's hardly any way you can, do any kind of commerce without having coins, back then anyway.
Yeah.
So they made these coins, and they got books on all these counterfeits, and showed different types. People made them up themselves.
Yeah.
There was like 2 different companies that made them.
See,
probably
remind me of the tokens. The counterfeit coins, because they're so rare. A lot of times, if you find a rare one, it's probably worth a lot, probably more than the money it was meant to be. At any rate, because just the age.
Yeah, it's
I thought I lost you.
I mean, coins go back a long way.
Yeah. Well, just the tokens and stuff like that, and the counterfeit coins and the buttons. They're just, you don't find a lot of them. At least down, you found them before for like the Palm Olive, dishwashing soap and stuff. I found a couple of those down here, but the real rare ones, I have a J.L. Kirkpatrick tune token that I found down here that there's only 2 of those bars or pubs or whatever you want to call them in the state of Florida, and one of them got blown up in Jacksonville back in 1901 or something like that, or earlier, and there was one down here prior to the one in Jacksonville. and it was gone too. I mean, so there's no remnants left of it. But these tune tokens were printed up for the I guess for the, I don't know if they had a player piano, what they did. But you don't find very many of them. I mean, they're just in this area, and that's about it. And I know that like you look through this tune, they actually had token catalogs or books and button books and stuff. I think we had some of those up on Facebook. On our old website, we used to have them up so you can, like if you found a token, you can go through these token books and see what you have. And some of them are worth a lot of money because they're just so rare. But a lot of the companies would give these out, so you'd shop at their company store back in the day. You get your paycheck and you get a certain amount of your money in tokens. And you'd have to use the company store to use those. And that was a way for the big company to make more money off its employees, essentially.
That's like I was watching this channel. I think it's called Melotech in America or something like that. I think the guy's down in Tennessee, and he found one of those Excelsior shoe tokens, shoe company tokens, like I did. Mm-hmm. And but his had a swastika on it. For good luck.
For good luck, yeah. That's what it used to mean back before a crazy Hitler person got a hold of it.
So I commented that and I'd found one in my yard, and that mine was was totally different than his, and that there's 109 different variations of that token, or that it's actually a metal that went on the shoe, but. He was amazed that there was that many, and I was too when I found out, the information. I actually went on, kind of followed it through this eBay in different places, and they were actually finally found a couple links where I could found out about people collecting them and stuff. But it's like 109 different variations of this one token. And it was only made for, I think, from 1910 to 1914. But it's pretty neat. He found it, in the rural part of, I think it was a little town and he found it right in the churchyard of this old church.
Mm-hmm. I find a lot of buckles at church parking lots, the dirt ones and like the old schools, stuff like that we have down here before they paved over the area, and all kinds of relics because you think everybody used them every day to park right there, whether it was a horse and buggy or a car or whatever nowadays. I found tons and tons of, there's a lot of junk there too, don't get me wrong, but stuff that I just never even thought about finding. From the 1920s, they had a swimsuit, men's swimsuit buckle. It was almost like the Boy Scout buckles, the slide buckles, but it had a picture of a swimmer and actually had the date on the back. It was 1922 or something like that, Roaring 20s or whatever. But I mean, you never think about a buckle for a swimsuit. I mean, I never found one. It was all brass. It was kind of neat. Found that compass in that parking lot. Found that Colored Heroes medal. I mean, just in the middle of the parking lot where they used to park at. They got it paved over now, but man, I used to go there every time I went there, Craig. I'd find old coin, old something. But I had to dig about 20 pieces of trash to get to something good. That's back when I was using the whites and everything. I think I used a bliss tool in there a couple times. But V nickels and just everything, because it's right. It used to be a school or a college back in the 1800s, and then it went to I think the high school. Then it was a grade school. Now it's an elementary school. And they've made, that's where I found that, like meteorite thing. I found that in another section of it. But they used to have a full-size track out there, track and field track, and bleachers and everything. It's all been gone since 1970 or something like that. A lot of that's been gone. It's just kind of like a field now. But I found, Standing Liberty quarters and that drill sergeant whistle from the World War I era. Found that there. I mean, just like hundreds of things that I just never even thought about finding with a metal detector. I'd find there the old stove parts, and heck, I probably found a complete stove, wood burning stove in that one part. I kept on digging more cast iron than I knew what to do with. I don't know whether it was a junk heap at one time, but I actually got tired of digging, and I was making too much of an impression in the ground digging up stuff. So I kind of stopped digging up the different parts right there, but they said they didn't care too much. But that old sidewalk that even goes through there, Craig, and it's all overgrown with grass now. I kind of found it, while I was trying to dig something, hit concrete, couldn't figure out what it was, and it's actually a sidewalk that's about 50 or 60 foot long, and it's all overgrown with grass. You can't even tell there was a sidewalk there. So, of course, along through there, I was finding a lot of old coins and just whatever people lose right at a sporting event, by where the bleachers used to be. Find a lot of stuff underneath there too. But yeah, it just we got weird history down here. I call it. It's all disappearing though. I mean, they tore down a lot of buildings this past year or two, and now it's one of the original gas stations, like the old style mobile stations. It got torn down. It was by the courthouse there, and I tried to do that property, but my God, Craig, that was one of the worst places I ever tried to metal detect. Everything, there was so much aluminum and brass and wire and everything you could think of, copper wire all around, that you could never tell you just dug it. You just really had no clue what the heck you were digging up. And when I started digging up alternators and starters, and I'm like, you know what, this is just getting to be too much. This is too overwhelming. I'm going to step away from this one for a little while and come back to it some other time. But yeah, it was pretty extreme. You do hit spots like that. I mean, when I was hunting up there with Tim Glick at one spot, and every square inch was a nail. I mean, they were just covering the ground. It was like a basement cellar hole on steroids. And, you could see him laying on the ground.
He's still hunting that area.
Yeah.
And he's taken so much iron out of there. He's, over the years, he's uncovered a lot of good stuff out of that
Yeah,
place.
I'm sure there was. He found Indian heads and stuff laying on the ground.
Yeah, he said, most of the best finds were like, an inch or two deep, but it was just so much stuff in the way.
Yeah, it was like, he told me they burned, I think the house burned down, and it was I want to say it was early 1800s anyways, and the house burned down, and then they pushed it, into a pile. Well, all the nails, all these little square nails and every kind of nail you could think of, all laying like an inch down in the ground, if that. And some of them were laying on top of the ground, and you just think, how do you deal with that? I mean, it's so much iron that he was using a Deus at the time, and I had the Bliss tool of the I think it's when we first got the V5s or V6s, I can't remember. But, I was getting some signals, but you take a scoop and you had 25 nails in the damn shovel from the first scoop. It was like, oh, God, this is crazy bad.
Yeah, there's places in this town that are like that, where it just is like, different generations and different types of nails in the ground, from, square nails all the way up to the round nails, but all kinds of little tacks and stuff. It's amazing. The older, you wonder what in the heck all these, they're like little tiny tacks. I don't know what. Maybe they're for leather or something, on a shoe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say upholstery nails, little upholstery tacks to hold upholstery on to a chair, seat or whatever. They'd fold the material around and tack it. Could be shoes. I got into a spot that had a ton of those. I wasn't having too much problem with them, but I was just surprised how many there were. A lot of the old furniture items and stuff had them. I'm sure shoes did at some time also. But I was doing that Roman site over in Bulgaria. I mean, the sandal metal, they put these metal pieces on their sandals and stuff, the heel plates and stuff. My God, those things were everywhere. You had to be careful because they're made out of that. They used whatever kind of iron, whatever they had to mix up to make those. So some of them have a higher, like a copper. I'm assuming it's like a pig metal, so they want to come through a little bit, and that really got me listening to the nuances of it and being able to discern coin items and not so much that bigger iron that wanted to kind of peek through there because it wasn't pure iron. But yeah, they were all over the place too. I mean, Med would laugh at me. He goes, "Why are you keeping that?" I said, "Well, I'm putting it aside because it's 1,800 years old. I don't care if it's a nail; it's 1,800 years old." So, I think I still got one of those Roman spikes. It's like a square nail on steroids.
Yeah,
I kept.
I think that some of the ones Jeff digs in Austria are even bronze nails.
Yeah. Well, he was digging.
This guy digs. He digs at least one Roman coin almost every time he goes out, and he's gotten a whole bunch more permissions and stuff. And he's got this American friend that lives over there, and I guess he teaches English at one of the private schools up there. But he uses a Deus, and Jeff just switched from AT Pro to the Equinox, and he's going back over the same spots, pulling stuff out, and he just can't believe it. How deep he's digging stuff up. But it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I'd love to be in some of those countries just digging for a little while. I mean, whenever I do get a chance to go, it's been a while, but being able to afford to go or whatever, I'd really like to go over to the UK and do some hunting. I've been wanting to do that for years and years. I should have done it in 2015, but we got with going to Bulgaria and everything, coming back. Another place I think would be kind of cool, but it's the tensions. You got to kind of be careful with South America. I'm sure they have a lot of neat stuff, but you have a whole different kind of world down there too. So.
Well, there's a lot of laws against it.
Yeah,
You can't do it at all in Peru, I don't think. And there's a few countries and people are looting like you wouldn't believe.
Well, that's
a lot of the countries are so poor that the people, a lot of them are going for textiles. They're digging up these textiles in the ground and selling them. They're super rare. Collectors want
them. Right. You got to definitely be careful of the laws because, in certain countries you can't take the stuff out of there. Other ones you just definitely don't want to get in trouble in a different country. Obviously, you don't want to get in trouble in this country, but it's just like just like different states. You can do this. Other states you can. You have to be on private property. There's no local laws and stuff. But I think it was over to UK. You turn the stuff in once you find it, and they go pretty much certify it and see what it is and see if they either buy it from you or they'll send you your stuff. I think somebody told me it takes like a year, but just finding it and getting a photo of it is better than nothing. There's a lot of stuff that but just being able to hunt over there is just the fun of it, the adventure of it all. But a lot of these other countries, I mean, I'm sure the UK gets pounded pretty good, but like you said, your buddy in Austria and just all those different, it's old world over there, so they have a lot more, the ancient stuff. It's kind of neat to find. Or I'd say the best stuff to find anyway. We only get back so far here in the U.S., so I think, the oldest coin, I don't even know. There was somebody that dug what was it, a Roman coin? This has been years ago now. They dug it in their backyard. I think it was 300 BC. And it was a lady using a White's machine, her and her son. I think they found it. That was back in 2005. Something like that. I'd heard about it.
It hit the news.
You hit the news pretty good. But that's one thing. You find something cool like that, and the first thing the media wants to say is, some collector must have thrown it on the ground or buried it. Like they found a cannonball. It's like, come on, who's a collector really is going to take it out and just bury it in the field or bury it in somebody's backyard? Give me a break. I mean, once in a while that could happen. Somebody could drop it, or, I mean, you have a better chance of finding an ancient coin in a coin master, for goodness sake, rather than your backyard most of the time. But that always got my nerves. How many of those coincidences do you have to have before it's legitimate? There was one. Michael Boyles, he sent me the photo of it. A friend of his found Viking spearhead here in Central Florida. I mean, it's obviously, you could just tell by the look of it and everything else, the way it was made. And the guy that found it's legitimate, you know. Yeah, I know guys that have found Spanish armor down here and stuff like that, swords. I mean, it's stuff is around to find, but it's so deep. Number one, some of this stuff is like 2 foot down, 3 foot down. But you think about Florida with the sand, there's nothing to stop it. It sinks and sinks and sinks. So, up north you got the rocks and the clay and stuff. You kind of get stuck up in those layers a little bit. And I'm sure you get deeper stuff than that, Craig. I mean, I know you dug down pretty deep for that breastplate. I think it was 14, 15 inches down, at least. I remember that breastplate hill.
At least that, yeah. I've dug a cannonball, 2.5 feet down. I think that was probably the deepest thing I've ever dug. Mm-hmm. I dug this thing. I don't know if we think it might be part of the brass part of a bullseye canteen. Mm-hmm. I dug that almost 2 feet deep in an area that had been hunted for like 30 years and nobody found anything. I found part of a keeper to probably a naval 2-piece belt buckle there, and a couple coins and a bunch of buttons and stuff. But I remember, for many years, never dug anything hardly a foot deep, except maybe a 69 caliber 3-ringer every once in a while.
Yeah, or
deep. Yeah, but I've dug bullets. I think my record's 20 inches. Mm-hmm. But it was a very faint signal, and I dug 2 in a row right next to it. And maybe I wouldn't have dug that signal just going through the woods, but it was I was going really slow, and it was just a thready signal, maybe kind of iffy. And I took a couple, divots, and it came back, it started coming back. So then I dug, and, it was incredible how deep it was. But,
I got one of those irons one time, and I knew it was probably cast iron when I got the signal, but it was so loud and so, it just I had to dig it. It's one of those, got to dig it signals. I knew it wasn't just scrap metal.
Mm-hmm.
But I got down there, and I was actually laying on my side with my arm down into this hole about up to my armpit. And I finally got it, I got the pinpointer down there, finally got the edge of it. It was one of those irons you set on the stove. Anytime you dig, when you're down below a foot, your adrenaline starts going, because it's going to be, or you got it in your mind, it's going to be something good. And that, to me, is a relic anyway. But it was probably from, late 1800s or something like that. But just being able to pick up something like it on your metal detector, that's a pretty, I don't know, about the size of I guess a baseball, maybe a little bit bigger, probably 2 baseballs, 3 foot down, we'll say, because, I got about close to a 3 foot arm reach. So, but yeah, 27, 28 inches down. But yeah, I mean, just digging it out of the ground, your adrenaline's going, oh, what could this be? I know it's metal, but it's got to be something cool. I mean, why would it be this deep? It's not a pipe. It's not this. I think we talk ourselves into pirate treasure every time we dig that deep, So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. A lot of times I try not to think what it's going to be,
Oh, you work so hard to get that deep, though.
Yeah, I know it. Well, I mean, like when I dug that cannonball that deep, when I first got the signal, I thought it was a belt buckle laying on the ground. It was so loud.
So loud, yeah.
And so I started digging, and I'm thinking, it can't be more than 6 inches deep, whatever it is. And, it's just a banging signal in every direction. I had the Nautilus, I think. And, it just sounded like a good discriminate signal.
Yeah.
And so I dig down about 6 inches, and still banging. I get down a foot, it's still banging. This is back in the mid '80s when I didn't have, I didn't have a pinpoint or anything. I just kept digging, and it was down 2.5 feet deep, and I started using my knife, kind of slowly poking because I thought, after I got over a foot deep, I thought it's got to be iron,
Yeah, something, yeah.
It's probably not, and I was just hoping it wasn't a horseshoe or something,
Oh, yeah, ox shoe or whatever,
but,
meal shoe.
but I didn't expect a cannonball, it just, I remember that I kind of got down to the point where I was, tapping with my knife, and all of a sudden it kind of slid sideways, and I kind of brushed the dirt, and I saw the roundness of it, and I thought, oh my God, I bet it's a cannonball, and then I carefully dug, for about another 15 minutes to make sure I didn't hit it or anything. But that was pretty exciting. And then I had to walk 2 miles back to my car with the thing. It was a 12-pounder. But
yeah, I was just looking on here. Pauline just handed me something here about a Civil War plantation hunt.
Global Detectors.
Global Detecting.
That's whose website it is.
Oh, okay.
They just put up
Global
a
Detecting.
video.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I probably should have explained.
Oh,
that
I
to
didn't.
you.
I'm not used to your phone. Plantation hunt. Let me see here. Please like and subscribe. The Global Detecting. I guess it's on their Facebook page. You guys can check it out right there.
It's a good YouTube video.
Yeah, it's a YouTube video. Okay. Pauline just handed it to me. Kind of pertained to what we were talking about. Those guys do put on a good show too and everything. I'll share this over to the Facebook page, Craig, and that way you guys can check it out and everything. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get off topic. She just thought it was neat. My wife she does like looking at all the Facebook photos of all the finds and stuff like that. She always goes through. I don't know. I don't really have time to do it anymore. I do it some, but I mean, I'd like to do it more. Check out all the videos and stuff. And there's so many videos. Oh my gosh. And most of them are pretty good. You get into them, and it's like, man, before you know it, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then you're looking at another one, and before you know it, you spent 2 hours looking at videos. So,
yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah.
I'll probably do more than that.
Oh yeah.
I was watching right before this show came on. I was watching this one on this guy. It's called Treasure Hunting with Jeeves, and they do all these storage lockers. They buy and auction,
and
all kinds of stuff. But they're he was talking about people think they're rich because they've had I think 2 million views on some of their videos, and they only have 80,000 subscribers, but they get a ton of views. And
right.
He was talking about how he's gotten successful doing it, and it's keeping it's growing and everything. But he had one, I think he said the first video that it's got 1.4 million views. He's made $8,000 off that one video. And then there's another one he made, I think 11,000 off, and that's 2 million views. But he said it doesn't matter about the views. It matters about how long they watch.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And he said the views mean nothing. It's how many minutes they watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he said, that's pretty neat, but that's, it's a lot of work. I've been doing this for a while, and it started off slow, and then I'm starting to get some success. But he said, people think I'm making, all kinds of money, and he goes, I'm not, I'm still going to college and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm not, I'm making enough where him and his fiance are, they're making enough to keep their apartment and all that,
Right. They're making, just making enough to survive, and that's what you need. But
he wants to, get a warehouse and, move to the country and get a warehouse and start doing it that way.
Right.
I've seen guys where they go in full bore, where the guy's got a warehouse, he's got apartment buildings, and he gets all the furniture from these storage lockers and stuff, and stocks all these apartments with it. And it's amazing how much money some of these guys make, but it's hard work. I mean, it's not easy.
It's not easy. I mean, I used to do on a smaller scale than that, but man, I tell you what, when you start moving product around and hauling it and everything, you got a lot of time and money wrapped up in it. You can make money at it. There's no doubt about that. But man, there's a lot of work that goes into that. I had a good friend of mine. He did it for a living. Went to auctions and buy stuff and do almost like the flea market scene and the yard sales and everything. And the guy would make like $2 or $3 grand at a yard sale on the stuff that he had. But all that going to get it and hauling it and everything else, it wore him out. It wore his back out. I mean, he had his sons helping him out, and they were getting worn down. You can be pretty, physical work. But I mean, you can see a lot of neat stuff though.
Yeah, but then you can buy something and there's nothing worth anything hardly in there.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
But this guy sells on all kinds of different platforms, eBay and stuff, and he was talking about how you have to know the brands, and he said the high dollar stuff, even if it's used, goes for big money.
Oh yeah. And you got to know where to sell it at, because it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. If you know your items and you have an outlet for them, for art, for appliances, for whatever, you can actually do pretty good. And I watch Storage Wars and stuff on TV, and that seems to be the key to it. You have to have a good, customer base to be able to move the products, different things, items, antiques, everything else. And then you can make pretty good money at it. But it's still a lot of work for those guys. But there's so much neat. You never know what you're going to get in a storage unit. As I bought a couple myself several years ago. I try to do it again, Craig. Man, I tell you what, when I'm looking at a sack of horse feed, a 2-wheel dolly, and a dresser, and it goes for almost $200, I'm like, I'm thinking I'm way out of my price range here. We used to pay $50 to $100 for a 15-foot by 15-foot storage unit. And now they're going for $300 and $400 and $500, $600. I'm like, no, I'm not messing with it. Not that much into the adventure.
Well, this guy and his girlfriend, they go all over the place for these different storage lockers, and then there's some that are the police have them, even
right, police officers,
and some of them are big, some of them are small. They mostly go for the smaller ones. It's usually like a small room or kind of a big locker, but it's like they found like this. He pulled out this Coke can out of one of the bags in this in this room, and he tries to pop the top, and it won't pop. He's looking at it, and then he realizes it unscrews.
Yeah, it's a safe.
And so he unscrews it, and it was I think there was 5 gold rings in it, and one of them had enough diamonds in it that was most of them were only worth about $300, I guess, but this one was worth a couple grand. They ended up getting I think they got almost $4,000 for these, but the pawn shop offered them $900.
Of course, they don't give you a heck of a lot, even on scrap gold. It's awful funny. You can buy, I buy, buy and sell gold once in a while, but it's funny. You can buy if they sold it to you, it'd be 4 times more than what you can sell it to them for. That's for sure. I had good friends down the road here that do the storage unit things. About 2 years ago, they bought a storage unit, rather small one, in a different size. I think this one was like 10 by 10, and ended up finding $40,000 worth of silver dollars in it. It was in it back in the back. It was all appliances and stuff, and you just thought it was regular house stuff. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, somebody, it's all in the very back of it. They're pulling the box open, and they had this album. It was just like 2 or 3 albums of I think Morgan dollars, this and that, and just all kinds of silver dollars. I'm like, oh my god, it doesn't happen as often as you think it would, but I couldn't figure out why the people just didn't trade those in and to pay their storage unit off. You know what I mean? That's I'm like, it doesn't make any sense sometimes, but life happens. Things get crazy, and
one of the funny ones was, he was talking about where to go to get the best, storage lockers and stuff, and
right.
He goes to Prince George's County in Maryland, which is like the highest crime area practically in the country. And he says there's all these criminals that hide all their stuff in these
storage units,
storage units, and then they go to jail, so they can't
get them out.
He was talking about how one of the guys recognized something that came out of his locker, and he'd been in jail, and he started messaging him, I guess, on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't. He knew, the email or something, but he couldn't get the guy's address or anything, and it was hilarious how this guy kept baiting the guy and stuff, and making fun of him and stuff, but he said he got I think he made about $2,000 off that guy's thing.
Yeah.
And he wanted all his stuff back, and he goes, "Too bad, dude. It's already gotten sold." And,
Oh yeah, I mean, come on now. You can't blame the guy for buying a storage unit.
Yeah. He said, you lost it. I bought it. I took a chance. It's like he says, I've gotten screwed a few times, but that's, it's like playing a lottery. But
oh yeah, see, you're not going to find. It's just like metal detecting. You're not going to find treasure every time you buy one of those. Don't think you're going to make $1 million. You're not. More than likely,
mm-hmm.
If you do,
he
luck
said,
out.
He said you want to at least break even and maybe make a little bit, But then you get these ones where you really you make several thousand, But
yeah, they're not as,
it's not as as much.
It's a luck of the draw.
But he was talking. He was talking about his YouTube channel, and he said that every time, he said all the other videos, some of the videos make a quarter for him a week, but every week you get a quarter off of it. Some of them make $1 or $2, and if you have hundreds of videos, it's like a steady stream of money coming in on YouTube that way.
Right.
I thought that was pretty interesting. He was saying, you got to do clickbait, to get people to watch, and, and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and he goes, if you're just sitting there boring, nobody's going to watch. And so I thought that was pretty interesting.
We started doing it too. I mean, I mentioned at the last show, I monetized the show here, and just to see what it would do if it would pay for the cost of the show and stuff. And well, Craig, we're up to I think $2 now. So we're not doing bad. We're not going to make millions. But, it's just figuring out how the stuff works. And if it doesn't, do anything, I'll probably just take the stuff off of there. But it put like a 30-second or a minute commercial in the beginning and middle and end or something like that. I still haven't figured out how to pick and choose the commercials. I guess I can pick and choose the ones that pertain more to, whatever we do, the metal detecting and stuff like that. But I haven't figured out how to do it yet. But it's like I told Craig, I said, we're up around $2 now, so all we got to do is, $10 a week, or actually $15 a week. We could actually pay for the show. So,
yeah, it's like $2 a day. If we can make $2 a day on it, that pays for the show.
Yeah,
for the month.
Yeah, we've been doing this for how many years now? So I mean, it's built up a lot, as far as, and it's not a big expense, but it is a monthly expense to come out and. To put it in there.
I figured that, you might as well. I mean, I think everybody else that's got shows is monetizing theirs, so.
Right. Well, I like Spreaker because you don't have to have all the, like YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and everybody worship you and everything else and watch your videos and everything, and then you might get some monetization money. And I think these, like you were talking about, the guy gets 25 cents a week or a day or whatever it is, but it's still 25 cents a day, but it just seems like YouTube makes you work your ass off for it. It seems like. They
just keep making it harder on you.
Right, right. I just want something I don't have to mess with. I put it on there, and maybe I can pick. At least I could pick where it goes on the, like a little commercial or whatever before, middle, and end. I figure if anything else, you guys need to go get a cup of coffee. That's a good time to do it, or would run to the restroom real fast. But in these videos and stuff, I mean, I don't know. Hey, Craig, it seems like you were jumping through hoops because one year you made $100 from YouTube, but you spent a year trying to get it. As far as get it earned up enough to be.
Well,
able to
actually, a couple years actually.
Was it a couple?
I actually made $200 total. And then I had it was either $52 or $54 I'd gotten when they demonetized me.
Right.
And so they screwed me out of my money. They said you had to, reach the $100 threshold.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it. It wasn't making me much money, but I just thought, what the heck,
Right.
I might as well make something off of it, But
well, I don't know what I'll get on this. I figured, I know that Spreaker sends it to PayPal, I guess, and I don't know what PayPal will pull any money from it or not. They probably will, and out of $10, I might get $5. So because it's on $10 intervals with Spreaker, I guess is what it says on there. So that's not too bad. I mean, for what the heck, give it a try. I just they make it. Well, Patreon is another one. I guess they changed some stuff around or something like that. I haven't read it yet. I got a couple emails because I was going to do Patreon for the show because I want to get better equipment and stuff like that too.
They started this safety and trust thing, and it's just degraded Patreon like you wouldn't believe. And PayPal, a lot of people aren't real happy with PayPal anymore either.
Yeah, well, they got caught up in a lot of stuff. But at least I've never had any problems with PayPal as far as, like, if I get a weird charge or something like that, I've always just called PayPal directly to the theft prevention department or whatever, and they've always just put the money back on my card and then filed a claim. If the people don't respond, then I think it's 30 days, then you automatically get it's automatically you have your money back. If they do say you owe them for something, then they'll take it from there. But I've never had a problem really with PayPal at all. I just, it's the nickel and diming you sometimes for the, services and stuff. Because, like, when somebody would buy a metal detector from us, they automatically take whatever it was, 3% or whatever. I can't remember how much it was at the time, but it always seemed like they were getting their money somehow. You know what I mean? And if I transfer money,
it's like,
it's
at first, it's fairly reasonable and you can do a lot of stuff on it, but
right.
I'm on the Stealth Diggers thing for Patreon, and it's gotten so he was apologizing, because it's just dead. The site is dead on Patreon itself, but
right.
Most of it said, he was saying, and I said, I don't care. I'm supporting you, in the channel, and you got 2 channels now, so you got a lot of content, that's you don't really need to, I just, giving you $5 a month through Patreon because I like the channel and want to support you, but
right.
It's not that big a deal to me, but I think, it's pitiful. I mean, they all of a sudden, we're doing little raffles and stuff once a month, mostly stickers and stuff,
Yeah.
And, all of a sudden, that was they put a flag on him for some community violation, and they said, no, you can't do that. You got to offer it to everybody.
Oh, geez.
So, what? You can't do it. Like it's like gambling or something. And I'm like, good God,
people need to start worrying about the right things in this world, not the stuff like that.
But he had to go through a bunch of hoops and call them, twice to figure out what was going on. And it's like they changed the rules as they're going along. Nobody said anything. All of a sudden, you get a flag. Oh, well, we just changed the rules, but we didn't tell you.
Right.
And then when they start trying to pin them down, the rules aren't real. They're kind of flexible, They're not really, something where you can go and look at to see, what's written down.
Yeah, it's whatever they're deciding, tell you what to do. I mean, that annoys me anyways. That'd be enough.
I mean, they're doing it a lot on politics. They've been banning all these people on politics, but this didn't even have to do with politics. It's just
right.
a metal detecting, site, that's a lot of fun. But I think the money starts getting them, they're making a lot of money off of it.
Oh, they think you're making, that's like, when we were running Blissful America and everything like that, I had, even a couple of neighbors thought we were making tons of money. I'm not making tons of, we're breaking even if at best, but we're having fun doing it. That was the thing. You're trying to earn money doing what you love to do and doing it in an honest way. And then you have the other half that are, there's so many people out there that, not necessarily from our hobby, but I mean, there's so many crooks out there, haters, whatever, that just want to cause you problems. And a lot of times it seems like you got all these scams going and everything. So it's made it hard for just a regular guy or gal to do something to, if they start making a little bit of money at it, then the companies or whatever, they start having a fit about it. It seems like it's what it seems like to me. Him giving away or raffling off patches and stuff like that, and getting friction from it. I mean, good God. I mean, that's why I haven't done a whole lot of that with some of the apparel I have and stuff. I was going to do some giveaways and stuff, Craig, but I don't know what's entailed in that and what could be brought up later about it. It's like,
well, if we did, we could probably do it off the Facebook page. That wouldn't be, you can do it off that, but that's what. I mean, I think in the beginning, there was about 5 or 6 different prizes. I won a little pry bar,
yeah,
and mini pry bar, but I don't think anything was worth more than maybe $35 tops.
Right. It's not like high stakes gambling or something like that. It's just,
and there was I think there was 98 of us. 97 of us, something like that, maybe 100 people that were in the, and he did it, on the computer, the random number thing. But it was kind of stupid. It wasn't like we're doing some kind of gambling thing where people put money in. It was stuff out that he was giving back to the patrons, just as a little thanks, And when they ruined that, there wasn't really much else to do with the thing. He put some posts and stuff up, but that kind of soured the whole thing to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I did it for YouTube early on. I did a giveaway thing, and I think I had 100 people in on the. It was pretty much you enter it. If you're one of the people on the list or whatever, we go down through and use that computer program to generate a number, and if that's your number, you want a tripod. I had an extra tripod. It was new, whatever, almost like brand new anyways, and I gave it away, and then I started hearing about these little problems with it, and I stopped doing that, because they considered it gambling or something like that. It was dumb, like what you're talking about, and like, it just, people in the hobby, people in genre of that video, or that hobby or whatever, that they want to, they're just doing it for fun. It's not like we're giving thousands of dollars away or anything, but some of these states, man, I tell you, and Florida's one of them. They have this, bingo is a cult-like thing now, and it seems like all these rules and regulations and everything else, because we got to do that at the VFW. We have it there, and we got to be careful about how we do stuff, what we say, you got to put the rules up. They have to be visible to everybody. Just weird stuff. I mean, bingo is pretty self-explanatory, so, but yeah, if you don't do that, then you can get in trouble. It's getting worse on the internet than anything else. That's what it seems like. But that's why I didn't go anywhere with the Patreon.
Way too much bureaucracy.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to start up a social, kind of like a social page for metal detectorist hobbyists, and Bethany, my daughter, is real good with the computer, and my son is too. My son-in-law is too, but they had it figured out where we could start our own essentially our own social media page or whatever. But it was going to be like $3,500 for the first month. I mean, they had all these charges put on there and everything for what we had. And I wanted to try to incorporate other radio shows, other, whoever wanted to come in there and be a part of it, they could. And it wouldn't really, they pay a minimal, amount per month, like $3 a month or $2 a month to be on there. It was kind of neat. But, then Bethany come back to me and she goes, Dad, I don't think you're going to want to do this. It's like $3,500 to get this thing started. I said, you got to be kidding me. Just to put something together like that. And it was pretty much so everybody would have a centralized base for, like all these hunts or anything you're doing, any I don't know, places you're hunting at, things you found, whatever. You could actually have your own page on here. On this site,
you could promote all the
promote everybody, and it wouldn't really cost hardly anything. And if you're a business owner, like you owned, I don't know, some mine lab company or whatever, you could be on there, but you would pay a little bit more per month. But you also had a lot more area you could post in, and it was kind of like for customers. Like you, Craig, or if you saw a particular company that was on there, you could click and go to them. They wouldn't hassle you. Type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was for a good reason, but it got so much bureaucracy now that I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not putting this kind of money into that. I mean, this is supposed to be a fun thing and an information based kind of site for my friends. I'm not going to do this. I had to charge everybody $10, $20 a month to be able to even afford the thing, and that's if we had enough subscribers to it to be able to do it. So they kind of your hands get tied sometimes. You can't.
Well, the tech giants has, basically gobbled all the advertising dollars to the point where, European Union is getting ready to, bust them for, billions of dollars.
Right.
But
right.
They're basically, grabbed all the advertising money. I can't even watch it, look at an article because I got. I have ad busters on my ad blockers on my phone and my iPad.
Right.
And they know it.
Allow or don't allow. I never allow any of that stuff.
Yeah. But a lot of times, you can't share off that site unless you let them allow, or
right.
Okay. Well, no, accept. You got to accept their cookies.
Yeah.
But. It's gotten where it's almost ruined it, ruined the pleasure of watching all this stuff. And YouTube has gotten more and more, advertisements on, just on regular, monetized videos.
I think that's why we, like on Amazon, or not Amazon Prime, we have Hulu and Netflix and stuff on our, we watch it, but, to get them ad free, it's like $9 a month or $10 a month, something like that. It's well worth it, so I don't have to watch that crap. But I really, it's just everywhere.
Yeah, I have it.
Video games, anything you do, it's all advertisement. It's like, and that's why I was really kind of wondering if I wanted to monetize our show. But I figured, well, it's a little bit more limited. I have more control over it, where I'm not jamming this stuff like 10 times on a show or something like that. It's just pretty much to pay for the show. But there are some that are, and I've seen YouTube videos like that where every 3 minutes there's a advertisement, and I'm like, I won't even watch those videos. I mean, that's just they're trying to monetize the crap out of that one, and I can understand I like to skip one on YouTube videos where you watch it for 5 seconds and you could skip the ad. That's giving a customer
4 seconds.
Yeah, it's giving a customer a choice to do that. I mean.
It's like I was watching, I play this game, on my iPad, and they, started putting, every time I needed a free turn or something, I had to watch about a 30-second video.
Right.
And, it was getting annoying, where at the point where I was just, ending the game and starting a new one instead of, getting a free one.
Right.
And so I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but I actually went to their website and wrote, I'll pay $20. If I would pay $20 to get rid of all the ads, not a single one. I would pay $20 for this.
Yeah, if it's something you like.
This app.
Right.
you know, because I said, you know, the game is great. I've been playing it for, you know, probably 6 years, and I don't play any other games. This is the only one I like, and it's basically been ruined because of these ads.
Yeah.
And so, like a couple weeks later, I get this thing where for $4.99, ad free. So I said, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
So I got that now. It's, you know, God, it's so, you know, it's so much more enjoyable without those ads. You know, the ads
All
are,
right.
you know, drive you crazy.
Well,
It's a waste of your time. You know,
Yeah,
when you add up 30 seconds, you know, I mean, you know, every few minutes you have to watch something for 30 seconds. That adds up.
Oh yeah.
Wasting your time.
You spend it's like regular television. It drives me crazy. The commercials are stupid, most of them, and you know, they just take up time. And it's about lawyers and medications and everything else. You never get that time back. Like telemarketers call robocalls. I despise them. You wasted 2 minutes of my life. I don't want you to call back here anymore. They call you back tomorrow. You know. But you know, I was going to say is like, remember when we started our forum up, Blissful America Forum, back in 2012, and Craig and I actually had to. Well, I don't know if you knew it or not, Craig. We had to pay not to have advertisements on it. You know, like when viewer or whatever, somebody go to the forum, they had a advertisement screen at the bottom, and it would play all the time. And that was through, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the company or whatever that we went through, but that was annoying. I mean, I pay you not to put stuff on my site. You know, it should be the other way around. You should be paying me to put stuff on my site. You know, that's the way I looked at it. But I think it wasn't that much, but it was just the principle of it. You're already paying $300 or $400 for a site, you know, a .com or whatever, and all this stuff, and then you got this added charge.
But that's how they, you know, it's just the only way they can monetize. You know, I don't know.
It should never be forced, and it should be paying the people that have the forums, and do the videos. It should be paying them more. If they're going to do this, they should pay these people more, because there's a lot of time that goes into a video and editing and everything else. And you know what the Stealth Diggers do, what Hoover Boys do, you know, or whoever. It doesn't matter. It still takes the time and your energy and everything. And you do it for fun. You do it for your fans or whatever. They should be paying those guys to put monetization, you know, big time. They should be paying them a lot more money, because they're the ones that are doing all the work. It's like these companies want something for nothing. They just put their stuff everywhere and make you pay them not to put it on there. It's very frustrating to me. But it's kind of got backwards over the last 10 years. We've kind of gone backwards big time as far as advertisement.
It's a whole new world. The internet has disrupted everything, and it's still sorting out. Nobody knows what's going to happen down the road. I can predict that certain things, like, you know, they're going from cable to streaming. They're going to, you know, I can see, you know, the streaming is already getting crazy.
Yeah.
You know, where the price is going to start going up on that, you know, and there's going to be a bunch of big companies that are going to fail, and they're going to end up probably selling their content to somebody else for lesser money.
Right.
But, you know, there's going to be a war over this, you know, over this streaming, just like there was with the cable news and cable networks.
Right.
You know, you remember how ESPN made you pay, you know, so much money that, you know, that was ruining, you know, that they were the top tier, and you couldn't, if you didn't, you know, have that top tier with ESPN, you couldn't see anything else hardly that was any good.
Right.
The next tier down, you know, was worthless, or, you know, it just wasn't worth it even paying for. Mm-hmm. I remember when it went up, you know, over $100, and all I cared about was watching, you know, a couple news channels and ESPN for the tennis.
Right.
But you know, I wasn't willing to pay, you know, that kind of money anymore, and I just, you know, dumped it. And they kept calling me, and they had, oh, what can we do to make you come back? And I go, I want to watch tennis, and, you know, that's about it. But I'm not paying $100 and some a month or more
we've had
to do that.
Right.
So
It's
they basically
frustrating.
ruined. To me, they ruined sports completely. It's like you got to pay for it. All of it. And now cable's completely collapsed, and now it's all on streaming now.
Right. Well, we try to get, stuff for, like, we have CenturyLink. It's kind of like Comcast, but it's down here in Florida. They've always treated us pretty good. I mean, we haven't had very much problems on them. Now we wanted to get local stations and stuff, so we had to get a Dish TV, or DirecTV, I'm sorry. And they're together with CenturyLink. And, we got to call, my wife she micromanaged that thing to make sure it wasn't going to be too much. Every month, Craig, we got a call. They charged us too much because they're together, working it together, but the service calls are all separate. So you have CenturyLink people and you have DirecTV people. And, it's just frustrating. They got you over. What are you going to tell them? No, you're not going to have any TV? So
My micromanaging saves us $58 a month.
Well, yeah, that's what I was telling them, though. But, you have to... It's like you get these people calling and they give you these deals. Make sure you stay on them, because some of this stuff, it either goes out, like it ends at a certain time, you got to call them to continue, or if they're charging you for something, you've got to call them to cancel it after a certain amount of time, or they just keep on billing you for it. I've had to call them, something that went from, it was $50 more than what they told us. So yeah, I called and tried to raise Cane. Well, sir, we don't know. You got an estimated bill. And I said, yeah, the estimated bill and your bill is $50 more than that's not a very good estimate, kind of thing. But even coming out to work on it, because we had the new mobile home put in here and everything, and had to run wires for it. And this guy's wanting to charge me $1 a foot to bury the damn DirecTV line that's 25 foot from the house to the satellite. And I told him, you know what? I'm going to keep my $1 a foot. I'll bury it myself, because they don't put it in the ground but about a half an inch anyway. I just, all these little service charges and stuff. Not being cheap.
You're good.
Thrifty.
You're good at digging anyway,
That's right. I got the damn shovels to do it, brother. He didn't know what to say when I told him that. I said, I got more shovels than you know. Dude, look around here. You see shovels everywhere. I can work a shovel pretty doggone good. $1 a foot, my butt. To make $25 off me on a job that you're supposed to do to begin with. You're supposed to be free reconnect. You pay for that service. When you first get the Comcast or DirecTV or whatever you're getting. But yeah, I couldn't believe he had the audacity to say that. I said, look around, you see how many shovels I got? I can dig that hole myself. But
yeah, it's funny. About 4 years ago, three and a half years ago is when I dumped the cable back in Alexandria, and it's like. Now, hardly anybody's got cable it's almost dying.
Yeah.
I think DirecTV is almost dead, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. The only reason we got it, like I said, we wanted some local news and stuff like that. And some of the shows we watch, too, you can't get, like Discovery. Now, we watch Discovery and History and Net Geo, stuff like that. And you can't get their app or whatever unless you have this satellite. You can't watch these new shows, regardless of whether they're commercial free or not. So it's pretty much a want that we had, and that we were able to pull off or whatever and be able to get. But that's the only reason we have it, because for the last 4 or 5 years, we've just watched Netflix and Hulu. That's what we get streaming through through CenturyLink, through the phone line, whatever. And that's another thing too. You get data on DirecTV, it's like you're only allowed 5 gigabytes or something like that, and then it starts charging you. CenturyLink, I can sit here and run this show 24 hours a day, and I never get charged a penny more for data. And I don't get that whole deal either. That's another scam and a half. It seems like all these little hidden costs, and I hate hearing people. I hear some people get really raked over the coals and stuff. It bothers me. I hate when people get taken advantage of, and that's what I felt like they were trying to do to us. And this guy's trying to make money on the side. I don't know what the deal was.
That's what happens when the business starts failing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to start cheating and pulling stuff just to make the money.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these tech giants have got to the point where they can they don't have to make as much money per unit, so. They can perform you because they got such a much bigger audience and everything.
Right.
So they just kill you off, in two different ways. But something's got to happen, down the road. I hope they don't keep messing with YouTube. Shady. It's like YouTube has gotten, it's going to be like regular TV after a while, that, where it's going to be commercialized everything you watch, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you should start downloading your videos, Craig, and putting them on an external hard drive, because that'll be the next thing. They'll lock up your content. I've already done that with mine, pulled all mine, downloaded, my original video, whatever that I put up there. That way I have a copy of it. Same way I do with the music or the show and everything. I always get a copy of the show that we do, and I put it on an external hard drive when I get a couple dozen of them on there, and that way it's my content. I don't have to lose it, because when 1,000 Mics went out and they sold their content to somebody else, I can't get to our shows anymore, which I didn't really think about at the time, or I would have done it, but it taught me a lesson. If you have content on a forum, website, YouTube, whatever, you guys, you think about it. If they took it away tomorrow, do you want that? Do you want your stuff? So it's probably a good idea to go out. You could buy a 4 terabyte if you wanted to external hard drive for $109 from Best Buy. That's going to hold whatever content you guys got. I mean, I have 280,000 songs on one of my external hard drives, and it's I think it only used up 2 terabyte of data, and I got 4 on that thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a good idea to spend that extra $100, or even, you probably don't even have, you probably wouldn't even need 1 terabyte to be able to just buy that. You download it onto your computer, move it over to your external hard drive, and you got it forever. Because if not, they take YouTube away. I mean, how many videos do you got up there, That's what you got to think about. Do you ever want to see those again? Or have the ability to download them? So that's the content's everything. May not be worth a dime to anybody else, but to you, I'm sure you spent your hard, time and effort into it, so you might want it. Get me on my soapbox, Craig. Start rattling the ceiling boards. But yeah, I'll probably wrap it up for tonight, buddy. We kind of got off topic a little bit, but it's a lot of stuff going on now. I mean, maybe a few of the listeners out there may be in some of these situations. Just don't let them take advantage of you. I hate when I feel like I'm getting taken advantage of. It makes me just want to fight. Like that cable guy tell me $1 a foot. My butt. I'm not paying you $25 or $30 to bury a damn line an inch down in the ground. I can do that better with my shovel. So, yeah, don't let them rake you through the coals. So.
Yeah, I have Comcast, and Comcast used to have a bad reputation, but I've had good dealings with them the last couple of years. They came in and set everything up, no problem. Made sure everything was, password was working and all that. So, when I first started. And,
CenturyLink could come out here, and they hooked up to our house, and they had to run it from the road, obviously. He brought everything out, hooked it up, laid the line on top of the ground, because he wasn't he had to have another crew for that. He goes, somebody will be here within 3 days to bury this line for you and everything, and I just want to let you know it's going across the driveway and stuff, and you're okay to drive over it. I said, that's fine, brother. Well, you know what? Within 3 days, Craig, that line was buried and everything. But you could deal with DirecTV, they're opposite. They just don't give a damn. Apparently, they don't care about their customers as much. But CenturyLink's always been good with us. We've had them for, Pauline, 12 years?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't think at this address, we never had a problem, getting somebody out here to look at something if it's not working right or whatever. They've had to replace modems before because we get a lot of electrical storms. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised about DirecTV.
Doesn't AT&T own DirecTV?
Yeah, and I'm not. I haven't.
I don't know why they.
I don't
even know why they bought them. I could have told you it was going to go down years ago.
Oh yeah, and it's pretty much out here. We live in the sticks, and there's really nothing. I mean, I got like 2 bars on my cell phone out here. I mean, it's not. You almost have to have it out here in order to get any kind of real stations. That's why CenturyLink was so good for so long for us, because we can run all our data. We use our laptops and our computers more here than anything else. but I have a HDMI cable I run into the back of the box of the CenturyLink box, and I can get YouTube or I can get YouTube TV too or whatever. But the actual NBC, ABC, all that stuff where they have Net Geo and stuff where they have all these like Discovery Now, you couldn't get it unless you actually have a satellite to be able to get that data. So they kind of had us over a barrel with that, but the fiber optics is another thing it's going to is with CenturyLink, but that's a whole bundle of money right there to pay for fiber optics. We found that out at our VFW post. It was going to be like $20,000 to run fiber optics in. So decided that we didn't really need that so much for the damn jukebox to work in the computer. But yeah, we'll stick with 25 meg. That's fine.
Well, wait till they go to 5G, then you can basically everything will be super speed.
Right.
Coming in off cellular actually.
Yep.
But be pretty wild. There's people
if you don't
saying
like technology, wait for a day and the technology will change.
There's all these people saying it's going to give you cancer and all this stuff, but I guess it's been tested, and I don't think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything will give you cancer. Anything. What is it? How everything I love is killing me. Coffee, cigarettes, everything. It's all going to kill you, Craig.
Steak.
Just you got to eat cardboard and drink water. That's the only thing that's going to keep you alive, brother. Because everything else is going to kill you. That's what they'll tell you. I remember years ago it was butter. Don't eat butter. Eat margarine because butter's not good for you. Now it's eat more butter. Don't eat margarine because it has too much trans fat. Don't drink coffee. It's going to kill you. Oh, now you got to drink coffee or wine or what? It's just it's stupid. It is stupid. Eat what you want to eat. That's the way I look at it.
Usually, if you eat in moderation, it's okay. But
yeah.
That's the main thing you ought to go by. But
yeah, if you're eating 50 pounds of beef a week, there might be a problem. 90 pounds of candy, shouldn't probably be doing that. Craig, I'm not going to say 5 gallons of coffee because you probably drink that in one day. But, everything. Alan Jackson wrote that song. Everything I love is killing me, and that's what it's like. So, at any rate, brother, I'm going to get off here. You guys have a good week there. Get out there doing some detecting if you can. That goes for you too, Craig. I'm going to try to get out this week too. Kind of been itching for a while now. We've getting everything squared away with the house, so hopefully I can get out a little bit.
Our problem is it's greened up pretty good out here.
Yeah, that's the next thing. I kind of went right into the heat of summer, it seems like down here. But that's all right.
But the guy at one farm, the guy's going to be cutting the grass and stuff, so
yeah.
We'll be getting up there sometime soon.
Yeah, and I appreciate everybody being on chat there, and Mark Hoover and Barb and Mark Hoover, Greg. I saw Brandon Stewart on here, and Bill Marsh, and oh gosh, if I forgot you, we got Kingston 1816. I don't remember seeing him on here very much. So welcome to the show. Nelson Sauter been on tonight, listener of ours. Like and follow the shows, guys, and we're not the only metal technique show. We have Relics Radio. It's on every Thursday. Relic Roundup on Mondays. All Metal Mode. There's a lot of different shows out there dealing with metal detecting and all kinds of other topics on Spreaker.com. You can get to our hardcore metal detecting through hardcoremetaltecting.com. It'll take you right to the Spreaker page. Yeah, so you can listen to the archive shows or go live. Listen to the live show if you want to. It's just a .com that we put together and put up so it makes it a little bit easier to get to it. So make sure you like and follow all the shows and everything, and we'll talk to you on Thursday night. We're going to start that back up and try to do Thursdays and Saturday nights again. And thanks for listening. Get out there, keep digging, and God bless.